Food and Drug Administration said that Trump was incorrect.
There's information and misinformation.
Their own NAFDAC came out and told Donald Trump, we're going to be waiting me where you talk. Now you talk and by yourself. We tell you it's okay.
And making sense of it can be hard.
Kayode, I will let you talk. Kayode, I will let you talk if you let me talk. Kayode.
But that's my job. Let's talk context. Let's talk statistics.
Talk about those bills at the Senate right now.
Let's talk to the experts and the newsmakers.
I see the kind of stability that would allow growth to happen by this time next year.
Every weekday at 3.
Good afternoon. I am Sandra Ezekwesili.
Let's talk hard facts.
This is the Big Three.
The Big Three.
On Hard Facts.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Hello, Lagos. Good afternoon. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts. I had a fantastic weekend. I tried amala for the first time in my life ever. I think I'm officially an Omoeko. I don't know. What do you think? So, for the longest time, I've thought of amala as this thing that you don't go near because of the color, and I just assumed it was going to have a smell. But last week I said, you know what? 2020 is quite the year of so many surprises. We almost had World War III. We have COVID-19 that we don't know whether it will allow us to, get back to life as normal. So I don't want to leave this world and not have tried amala. And so I said to myself on Friday, you got to do this, girl. And so I bought amala with ofowere. Quite the combination, huh? East and West. And I loved it. I tried the plantain amala. But some people are telling me that that's not real amala, that it has to be the yam amala, otherwise it's not real amala. But I'm glad that I tried the plantain one, because I heard it's the yam one that actually smells a bit. Maybe I'll try the yam one today on my way home and see, how it compares between both. But I loved it. It was gorgeous. It was flawless. It was smooth. And you're eating it. It doesn't feel like you're eating swallow. It was just really good. That's why a lot of Yoruba women, their skin is just fresh. Yoruba men too, very fresh people like this. I've discovered your secrets. I've discovered it. And that's my first hard fact of the day. If you haven't tried amala, take it from me and go and try it today. Your second hard fact of the day, Madagascar is under lockdown. But at least the capital, Antananarivo, they are under lockdown because the number of COVID-19 cases has started to explode. Abo Madagascar, work, kolewek. So going forward, I hope we all remember that before anybody, and I'm hoping that Remy from Akoka is listening to the show, because I remembered we had a very, very strong argument about it when we're talking about it. And he was like, hey, we only want to believe the West. Why can't we try our own tests? Our tests work. But hey, remember an episode of Hard Facts where we talked about the processes before anybody tells you that anything, whatever that thing is a cure. So before anybody comes and tells you that something is a miracle cure or something is a vaccine, we need to ask them for results. The results of their clinical trials. 2 Fridays ago, I told you how Nigeria has come up with a candidate vaccine and how the scientists behind it are subjecting it to all 4 phases of trial before giving it to you. That's the proper way to do things. So let's always stick to the facts, huh? I have a great show for you today, full of facts for you today, all 500,000 of you. I'll start with the big 3. Let's talk about the NMA in Cross River going on general strike because they say the government is pretending there is no COVID-19. Then let's talk about the woman in Enugu who burned a 10-year-old with an iron and drilled 2 nails into her skull. And then we'll talk about the federal government's decision to start repairs on the Third Mainland Bridge. Chai God, why them no do when lockdown day? Why not now? On today's checkpoint, Chukwudi is going to talk about Lagos's new rule to enforce masks. If you're not wearing a mask in public, police is going to catch you and take you to court. That's the conversation you're going to have with Chukwudi today on Checkpoint. You tell him how you feel about that new rule. Do you think, that's what Lagos needs to start to do for people to take wearing their mask seriously? Or do you think it's overboard? Come on. It's not by force to wear the mask. Why do you want to arrest me and take me to court for mask wearing? What is that? Lagos State government is also saying to businesses, don't let anybody into your establishment that isn't wearing a mask. So all of those conversations happening at 4. On the big fact, the jobs level. So 2 scandals, and we'll talk about why there is so much corruption in our contract and procurement systems for government. How can we end it? My guests are Sheon Igbinde from Budget and Chief Andy Oboforibo. So look forward to that conversation at 5. Then I'll hand you over to Rufai for conversations. You'll get news updates on the hour, every hour. You need to listen to every minute of this show so that you can win just a minute. But let's get right into the big 3.
This is the Big 3
The Big 3 on Hard Facts
on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
We're streaming this conversation on Facebook, by the way, Nigeria Info 99.3. You can also take a look at us on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. Tweet at us at Nigeria Info FM. We've got the questions up on Twitter, and so you can tell us what you think about these stories. Is the Cross River State government hiding COVID-19 test results? Why do so many Nigerians have no problem mutilating children? Should federal government have repaired Third Mainland Bridge during the lockdown? Those are your big 3, Lagos. Let's talk. The Nigerian Medical Association Cross River State chapter has withdrawn its services from every hospital in the state. That's our first story. I've been updating you about the Cross River situation for weeks now. Remember, I told you that the NMA has been complaining that the state government isn't letting them conduct COVID-19 tests and is also suppressing results when the tests are conducted. In fact, we even played you a conversation that, an interview that the NMA chairman granted before they decided to go on strike. And in that interview, the NMA chairman was talking about how the government wasn't doing what he needed to do as far as testing was concerned. And so as a body, they were worried for health workers. And so they said July 1st, they were going to go on strike. NMA reported the state government to NCDC. So NCDC approved Unical Teaching Hospital as an independent testing center. UCTH is a federal hospital, so state government doesn't have much power there. But UCTH doesn't have a lab. So it sends the test samples to Abakiliki for testing. Now, last week, UCTH sent samples of 5 suspected cases to the NCDC in Abakiliki, and the chief medical director said that the results are positive. 5 of them positive. But Governor Yade said it's a lie. So right now, the only people who can confirm the truth are NCDC. But the NMA is saying that NCDC has refused to publish the results on their website or send the official notification back to UCTH. Instead, according to the doctors, NCDC sent the results to the State Ministry of Health, and the ministry has refused to finish processing the paperwork. And so the NMA are very upset. And they are so upset at the NCDC and the state government that they are withdrawing all their services across the state. No more doctors until the results are announced and until contact tracing on the 5 patients begins. And this is both for public hospitals or private hospitals. And they didn't stop there. The NMA passed a vote of no confidence on the Commissioner for Health, who is, of course, a doctor, for endangering lives. And they want to drag her before a disciplinary panel. So that's the chaos happening in Cross River. Doctors are saying that there is COVID-19 in the state with positive results. The state government is saying it's a lie. NCDC has sent the test results to the state, but the Ministry of Health has still not processed them. By the way, the results came out on July 1st. What is today's date? What do you think should happen next? The heads of all the health workers associations in the country have said that the presidential task force should go to Cross River to investigate. And I wonder if you think that that's what needs to happen here. 0700-993-993-993. Who do you believe in Cross River State? Same question I asked you when the Kogi situation happened last week. Who do you believe? Do you think the NCDC has shown leadership in Cross River in this situation here? What's the way to resolve this issue? What do you think about the doctors going on strike until the results are published? What do you think about the fact that they're going on strike until the ministry or NCDC begins contact tracing? 0700-993-993-993. You can also send us a message via WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. WhatsApp again, 080-959-75805. The studio number is 0700-993-993-993. Everybody gets 2 minutes to talk. John, hello.
Yeah, good morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yeah.
Who do you believe in Cross River?
I just heard what you have just said concerning Cross River State. The problem with them is that the government officials are not truthful. They are not forthcoming. And the doctors, the steps they're taking is in the right direction to guide their health because they will be endangered if people who have COVID-19 are being counted to have none. Because they will be exposed to so many people and those people, their lives are in danger. So what they should do is for the federal task force to move in there and investigate the issue and then be able to come out with the facts and figures of COVID-19 with regard to Cross River State. That is my own take on this issue.
All right. Thank you for making it very, very short. 99.3. Hello. Okay. Sorry about that. Try to call us again. 0700-993-993-993. Now, because it rained, it may be a bit difficult to get through today. So I'd advise that you use social media. So use Twitter, use WhatsApp, and use Facebook. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. Twitter is at Nigeria Info FM. And of course, we've got what's it called now? Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3. Now, if you haven't seen the picture of the young girl who had her madam drive nails into her head, I'm going to be showing you that picture on Facebook. So I hope that you are watching when the time comes when we start to talk about our second story. Anthony's in Festac. Anthony's not on the line anymore. Sorry about that, Anthony. Hello.
Hello, Sandra.
How are you?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir?
I'm Joseph. Thank you. It's a pleasure speaking with you today again.
Good to have you on the show, Joseph. Who do you believe in Cross River State?
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I think actually I've been trying to find a way of getting across to your station.
Okay.
Let me share an experience with you. That happens to be my home state.
Okay.
Yeah, and Sandra, some couple of months ago, precisely let's say a month ago, I got a call from my home, that is my house and all that, pertaining to my mom and all my siblings in the family. And there was this kind of sudden outbreak, that occurred across the state.
Okay.
It's not only particularly to my home community, which is Ecom, that is the Cross River Central, Ecom precisely.
Okay.
And then this outbreak, I think, lasted for like 3 weeks. It was so severe that, people were really afraid and scared.
Okay.
And because of the symptoms, I had to deploy, my family doctor.
Okay.
And I took personal agreement with him that, let him come to the house and stay with my parents for some couple of days.
Okay.
pertaining to, because it was so dreadful. And in fact, I became very unstable and unconscious of myself because of that reality. So guess what? Actually, from the way, if actually the COVID-19 thing, the way it is in Lagos and the symptoms and all that, and what the government of Lagos State is trying to do by enlightening people and trying to get our consciousness into this reality, I'm sure there is something going on in that state. But although one thing is this, I presume that the governor, is a very smart man.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Being smart enough, because that happens to be his jurisdiction as, a health expert, also as a medical biochemist as well. So whatever may be the doctors or the NCDC in the state happens to, come with as an outcome, it actually, it can stand a test of time to be able to, contradict and contravent, their success, concerning the investigation of cases in that state. So what I think is that to save, the state and all that from the dreaded coronavirus, I strongly believe that, federal government needs to come in.
Federal government needs to come in. Thanks for calling to share that with us. Jerry is in Ogun State.
Yes.
Hello, Jerry.
Afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon.
I want to speak about the Cross River State.
Yes, of course. Who do you believe?
I believe the government.
Okay.
Yes, because there's a politics in that of Cross River State COVID-19 issue. This is over 4 months since COVID-19. And we haven't recorded any issue as in the doctor, any of the resident doctor there are one thing or the other happened.
But the doctors themselves are telling you that they're getting sick and that they're being put in danger because they're the ones who have to interact with sick people. That's why NMA has gone on strike.
Yes, there's a policy because I believe that they belongs to association, and if there's all these palliative and other allowances from other doctors which benefits which they have not been having a opportunity to receive, they want to be part of.
Doctors are not receiving any palliatives. All doctors have asked for is their hazard allowance, which is their right according to the law, and PPEs. So nobody's giving doctors any money or any palliatives for working.
Just take it from me that there is a politics because this is over 4 months since COVID-19 and nobody from there have been sending any message of death or from COVID-19 on etc.
All right.
So the politics, yeah.
Okay. Politics there, Jerry says. Jerry, thanks for calling. Ezinu Zodima says, I don't see a reason why the government should be hiding if they have COVID-19 in the state. This is dangerous to the people in the state. How daft can they be to hide such from the NCDC? To think that the governor of Cross River is a professor of biochemistry and well learned, he should know better the dangers of keeping such information hidden. Please, I support the NMA going on strike. Ola Aziz on Twitter says the NMA branch in Cross River State were right with the steps taken because they've done all humanly possible to prove as a professional to save the entire citizenry in that state. I would not blame the NCDC neither, but the state governor for refusing to admit that there's COVID-19 in his state. And this shouldn't bring about problems since it's a professional corridor issues which is part of governance. All right, Aziz, I'm going to stop there because that's a lot of words. My last call is Kundayo. Hello, Kundayo.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I've been listening to your program. Briefly, about this Cross River issue. If you recall, the governor of Cross River and that of Kogi State, they have been recalcitrant, if I can use that word on radio, from the onset. And, the reality now is that there are proven cases of coronavirus infection in both states. You said that a short while ago that 5 tests were sent to Abakaliki and they returned positive. So that's a proven case that there are infections in Cross River State.
Yeah, but the governor said it's a lie.
Well, it's political. I mean, because you know that governor for whom he is. He calls himself a professor, this, that, and so on, and it's an ego issue. So briefly, what I will advise the federal government to do, since University of Calabar Teaching Hospital has been accredited as a testing center and so on, they should just go there and set up an isolation center so that people can go into the place and get treated.
Okay.
That's the way they can save people in Cross River State. And leave the governor to his politics. I believe that the federal authorities, they can find a way to prevail on him. Because if they wait and do not take this drastic action, when issues blow out, it will be uncontrollable. That is my advice.
All right. Thank you for calling to share your advice with us. If you just joined the show, hello. Good afternoon. You're listening to Sandra Ezekwesili on 99.3 Nigeria Info. By the way, I forgot to tell Jerry from Ogun State that a Cross River lawmaker died in a COVID-19 isolation center. Did you hear about that? He died on he died in June. He died in June. His name, Godwin Akwaji, died on a Thursday in June in an isolation center in Cross River State. But yet the state government continues to say there's no COVID-19 in this state. So make of that what you will. In our second story, police in Enugu have arrested a woman for grievously injuring a 10-year-old with a hot iron and nails. The girl was living with the woman named Ifeoma Ezugu as a child slave. People are calling her a house help, but children are not allowed by law to work. So she was a child slave. And for whatever reason, Ezugu got angry with this little girl, 10-year-old girl, and burned her all over her body with an electric iron. If you're watching on Facebook now, you're seeing pictures of this girl's skin. And Ezugu did not stop there. She took 2 nails and drilled them into the girl's head. Nails, ntu, building 2, drilled them right in her skull. Again, if you're watching on Nigeria Info 99.3 on Facebook, or Nigeria Info FM on YouTube, you can see pictures of the innocent little girl with her injuries. How could such a thing have possibly happened? I'm remembering when we talked about corporal punishment on the Big Hard Fact. Some of you supported it, but said that there was a line that nobody should cross. And I'm guessing that this woman crossed that line. She went way beyond that line. And what I want to know is why? Why is it so easy for some people to do this to children? Go on Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3, on our live stream. You see the pictures for yourself. Why is it so easy for some people to do this to children? And somebody will say it's because she's not her child. But she's still a child. Yes, even if no be your pikin, that's still pikin. Pikin. Somebody will look 10-year-old pikin for eye, see past their innocence and their fragility, and decide, say, I go carry nail, drive inside her head. Con. We have a violence problem in this country. And it seems like a lot of people unleash their violence on whomever is in their power. And so this woman turned to a 10-year-old. She turned on a 10-year-old. And this is not the first. It will probably not be the last. We hear these stories all the time of people abusing the children that they have working in their houses. It's bad enough that you have a slave in your house, because that's what that child is. If a minor is working in your house, that child is a slave. But now, not only do you have a slave, you beat them, you injure them. How does it get to that point? Why do we as a people not value children? Once they are not our children, why don't we value them? Is it about empathy? Do we have an empathy problem? Are we not humane? Because remember, one time we talked about boarding school, we talked about bullying. And we said on that show that one of the results of bullying was loss of empathy. Is that what we're seeing here? What drives people to harm children that are living with them? Help me understand, because I don't understand. 0700 993 993 993. And yes, you can still talk about the first story. Tell me who you believe, the Cross River State Government, the NCDC, or the NMA. How come so many Nigerian adults cannot keep their anger in check while disciplining a child? What do you think the punishment for this woman should be? 0700 993 993 993. Eric is in Victoria Island. Hello, Eric.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You see, that woman, I think that woman should be sent to jail because she's just putting on human flesh, but what is inside is just an animal spirit. And I'm sure such things have been going on in this country in various places. So I think that woman should be prosecuted and be sent to jail. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric, for calling me. 99.3. Hello? Hello? Sorry about that. Call me back if you can. What do you think the punishment for this woman should be? Isn't it high time as a society we stopped allowing people have children working in their houses because of things like this? Isn't it time? Davo, hello.
Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon.
It's quite shocking. I really want to talk about the case about that woman.
Yes, go ahead.
You would not know. Let me tell you the truth. When I came to Lagos 2006, I once worked as a houseboy.
Okay.
Before I got the job that I'm doing now.
Okay.
To be sincere, one of my madam once said to me that, do you know that some Oga can take knife and cut the ear of their household, the domestic worker, and nothing will happen? And she said, do you know that some of them can even break his leg and nothing will happen in this Nigeria? And I opened my mouth. I boldly told her that just try it with me because I'm well educated and I'm someone who knows how to push for things. I will really make sure I humiliate this entire family. But to just cut the long story short, I worked differently, and then I went to school. I raised money. I went to school, and today I am working with them again. The family gave me a job. I'm working as a PA to them.
Okay. And
I really want to say that there are so many things that I've been done, atrocities committed unchecked. It still goes back to the way the values of our families, values of our societies are in fact, everything is just going to extinction. And so there's a need for us, even on the national orientation agencies, nobody even knows their office. Just imagine like what the topic Joy treated earlier about all those apps. There should have been a national orientation agency that is even supposed to be doing the video. They are supposed to be sponsoring some of these programs. So there are so many atrocities in Nigeria that have been carried out every day unchecked. But thank you for even bringing it to Nigeria and to the entire world. God bless you, Sam.
Bless you as well, Davo. Thanks for calling me. Ben, hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ben.
I want to talk in respect of the one that mishandled the household.
Yes. How come so many Nigerian adults cannot keep their anger in check when they're disciplining children?
My suggestion is the woman herself and her husband should be dealt with in the same manner they treated that girl. That woman has no feeling. I think the issue in Nigeria is that when all these cases come up, people will talk and bring their suggestions. Yes, the government authorities cannot do anything. I feel this issue should be handled the way it should go. we have human rights commission in Nigeria. I think social, how do you call them? The ministry or whatever that handles such issues. This woman should be handed over to them so that they can deal with her. And my suggestion is that the same measure she treated the lady, that girl, she should be also meted with same. The same nail she used on that girl, herself and the husband should also be nailed that the same way so that it will teach others lessons. And I think she should be handed over to the police so that they can handle it and also follow it up so that not a case that will go to the police the next day, then the matter will just die that way. I think this problem of house help issue is turning out to nothing in Nigeria. That woman should be dealt with. She's not a human being. So she should be dealt with because she's wicked. And they should stop this house help, whatever, slavery in Nigeria. I think parents should stop giving their children to people for house help because it doesn't help. I see most of them when they go, even though when the children go to get to them, if they have phones, they'll collect their phones from them so that they cannot call their relations or anybody. They seize their phone so that they cannot communicate to tell people what is happening. This woman should deal with. She's not a human being. She's an animal.
All right, Ben, thanks for calling me. Festus is in Ogun State. Hello, Festus.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Okay, on this issue, I guess the child is dead, right?
No. She's alive. She's alive.
Oh, she's alive.
Yes, we thank God. She's alive.
Thank God she's alive. The woman would have gone for the highest penalty, death, because child slavery is child slavery. That's what we're gonna call it.
Yeah.
Child slavery.
Yeah, that's what it is.
People take out their, should I call it economic hunger, or the situation in the country, or their upbringing. There's so many factors that one can put together that really make people, forget themselves and take out. Can somebody be so inhumane to drive a nail into the? Thank God, I thought the child died.
No, child's alive.
That child must be gifted. There must be something about that child. If that child is still alive. It's so unfortunate. I think that woman should be dealt with.
All right.
Let it not be one of those headline stories.
Well, she's already in the hands of the police, so I'm hoping that they prosecute.
Yeah, I think they should follow it up. Human rights organizations, people should follow it up. Because most times, cases like this, through the back door, it just fizzle out.
Well, Festus, thanks for calling me. If you just joined the show, hello, you're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. I already brought you our first two stories. The NMA in Cross River is going on a general strike because they say the government is pretending that there's no COVID-19 in the state. Now we're talking about a woman in Enugu who burned a 10-year-old with an iron and drilled 2 nails into her skull. Aking is in Victoria Island. Hello, Aking.
Yeah, God bless you, Sandra.
Thanks for calling.
In that woman issue, let the law take its course.
Okay.
Quite unfortunate and a sad story. God bless you.
Bless you as well, Aking. Thanks for calling me. That's the thing. How do we get to the point? And I think this is a conversation we're probably going to have next week, one of the days at 5 p.m. How do we get to the point as a society where we stop allowing people have children in their houses as slaves because of things like this? Isn't it time that society just says enough? Enough. We're done allowing people have children working in their houses because of things like this. Isn't it time to say enough? WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. 080-959-75805. If you are watching on Facebook, I want to read your thoughts. If you're on Twitter, tweet at us as well at Nigeria Info FM. Grace Oladejo, for instance, says, I couldn't even look at the picture. That woman is very heartless. People like her still exist. They treat helpers like slaves. I hope she will be punished accordingly. And parents should stop distributing their kids too. People should try to give birth to the number of children that they can cater for. For as long as I've been alive, this message has been preached. It's either you hear it on TV or you hear it on the radio or you read it in the newspaper. People, stop giving your children out. Stop giving your children out. And we continue to give children out. Why? Why? The rationale for inflicting such physical pain on the girl is disheartening. This sad episode fans the embers for discussion. Sadly, the girl's story is one of many that has taken up the headlines in recent times, necessitating a stroll to Damascus for baptism. This experience leaves an indelible physical mark and a scorched emotional strain that warrants regurgitation. This flagrant disregard for the child's right must not be taken slightly. I ask, who then will protect the Nigerian child? Chukwudi Urapa says on WhatsApp. Also on WhatsApp, this person says, Sandra, that woman should be burned and nails drilled into her skull. Thank you for the good work. Wole from Baduri says, Sandra, it's very unfortunate that the Cross River state government is playing with the lives of its citizens. That's my state. I have a cousin who was positive and treated herself as a doctor, and she just recovered. It's on record that there are many cases in the state, and many pharmacists have confirmed a surge in chloroquine and vitamin C purchases. We pray and hope that the federal government intervenes. Sammy is in Lekki. Sammy, thank you for sending your message in. We've got Ezine in Ogun State who thinks that the woman is the devil's incarnate. Also, the parents of that child should also be blamed. It's high time parents be sanctioned for their nonchalant attitude towards their children's life. The woman's punishment should be that she should be pressed with a hot metal in her private parts and also made to drink urine. Okay, no, there are actually actual laws. There are actual laws. We've got this person who says, Sandra, this just shows how much the average human loves her neighbor. Justice should be meted out to her. Shekoni from Ikorodu says, Shekoni, thank you for sending your message in. The state governor is the chief security officer of the state, and I don't think he will open his eyes seeing his people destroyed by this pandemic. The NCDC and NMA should stop playing politics. A lawmaker in Cross River died. A caller sent a message on WhatsApp saying, sent a message on WhatsApp saying that his own sister is a medical doctor who had to treat herself in Cross River. But, we have a few people who still think it's politics. Okay. We've got Sandra, if it is true that there's COVID-19 in Cross River State, what does one gain by hiding that fact? It's like a girl found to be pregnant but denying the truth. The more she denies, the more the pregnancy is protruding. The NMA going on strike is to save their lives. I do not blame them. Trux Ubiaru says. Trux, thanks for sending your message in. We've got this person who says, Sandra, the only thing I'll say about that little girl is that no amount of penalty will be equal to the crime committed by that woman. The woman should be sentenced to death by... Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Sekbe Michael from Victoria Island. I'll take one more message off of WhatsApp and then we're going to move on to other stories. I support the NMA Cross River for embarking on strike in order not to risk their lives. I wonder why the residents of the state have not protested the way their governor is playing politics with their lives by denying their COVID-19 status. Ogechi from Akuti says. Ogechi, thank you for sending your message in. Our third story is the Third Mainland Bridge. The federal government is about to start the next round of repairs on the bridge. The Federal Works Controller for Lagos said the repairs will probably start on the 24th of this month, but they will let us know for sure very soon. And a lot of Lagosians are not pleased about this, of course. I mean, Third Mainland Bridge is one of the vital arteries for traffic in the city. It's the main link between island and mainland. And yes, bridges must be maintained and repaired, but some Lagosians are not happy about the timing. On Twitter, they're asking the same question over and over and over. Why didn't government get this done during the lockdown? Because remember, for weeks, we couldn't drive around. If they caught you on Third Mainland Bridge, they'll frog jump you. They'll seize your car. So in that time when the bridge was empty, why couldn't government repair the bridge? Nobody would have disturbed them. and they wouldn't have inconvenienced anybody since we are all locked up anyway. At least most of us. Now, the government has an answer. According to the government, the materials for repairing the bridge only just arrived. But even that answer says, you get a CB. They assessed the bridge in August last year. International movement did not stop until 6 months after that. Surely that was enough time to order the parts and bring them in. But let's go beyond Third Mainland Bridge, because that's not the only stretch of highway getting repaired. Have you seen the work going on at First Roundabout on Lekki Ekpe? Or even here in Victoria Island, very close to our office. Now, I know the areas on the island because that's where I live, that's where I work. But you probably have other parts of Lagos where I don't know about that are currently receiving work at the moment. In lots of major parts of the city, there's road work going on in the middle of the rain when traffic is back. And you have to ask yourself, and a lot of people have asked this question, why didn't all this work happen during the lockdown? I mean, God sent us a lockdown. Why didn't we use it? In fact, it could have been used as a way to circulate money to laborers. Kind of like a public works program, like a palliative if you like. But that didn't happen. Instead, people were at home, the roads went unrepaired, waiting for us and the rain to return. Why do you think this happened? 0700-993-993-993. Why do you think government made the choice not to start these road repairs during the lockdown? What do you think about the excuse they gave? Well, not excuse, reason. What do you think about the reason they gave? Are there any repairs happening in your area, on your normal route to work or to your house? How are the rains making things? Some people talked about Saturday and how they were in traffic for hours. Some people 6, some people 9, some people 12 hours. GRA and the 7-Up area, they were in traffic for hours. And then they were in traffic so long, they couldn't beat the curfew. And then they were harassed by security agents for not beating the curfew. Quite the thing, isn't it? Adeyemi, hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, welcome to the show.
Yeah, this is my first time calling.
Oh, fantastic. Good to have you on the show.
I think we have been deceived by our government. We have been deceived.
About what?
About the reconstruction of these roads.
Okay.
We have been deceived.
Okay.
Totally. We have been deceived sincerely. Because what you have just said, nobody on the road, no work was being done, no rain. It is now that the rain has come up and people are flying the road. Now they want to repair. That's just all I have. It's a deceit. They are deceiving us in this country. Thank you.
Okay. Deceiving us in this country, Adeyemi says. But how? Hello. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
My name is Prince YS, calling from Amowodo.
Welcome, Prince YS. I've got 3 stories. Which ones do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the last one.
Okay.
You see, during the lockdown, I'm expecting all the roads to be taken care of, especially the port road. Where we were released to go out, I had to show a present to some contractor, but I don't walk around. As somebody will call the radio, I have to do our oversight work as a parliamentarian.
Okay.
So the route told me, based on some of those contractors, they travel out of the country. If they travel out of the country, that major roads would network. But what are the inner ones? The local government, their salary is paid direct to them. They have a department of work. When you talk of Lagos State, they have the time of the road, what do they call it? So, all this, as I'm talking to you now, major roads have a lot of potholes now. So, and during the rain, the best of a time for road construction or to pass on roads is between December and where June come around, they setting, and that's what we are witnessing right now. So I would say it's towards the Lagos State government to the Department of Maintenance on road, to go out and do some little job. But only the job can be done. But the best time to do it, those time of lockdown, that's the best of the time for them to do the work. But nothing is too late. If we do the work now, we want them to come out and do the work.
Still shall do the work. Prince YS, thanks for calling. Immaculate in Maryland, hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good
Sandra.
afternoon. Thanks for calling. Welcome to the show.
Well done work, and I always wanted to call over last week, but no, I couldn't get through.
Okay.
So based on this issue, severally when I see them repair roads, I just want to put in a suggestion.
Okay.
When you are making a major road where everybody is going to apply, why not look for alternative routes that could lead to the person's wherever destination you are, and grade it for God's sake. You make alternatives for people to pass through, so you don't frustrate people in this country. The frustration is too much. Assuming you like Ikorodu Road now, if you had graded some little alternative routes for people, just grading. I'm not asking you to do it, just grade it so that people can just,
use those ones.
I don't know. Okay, now we are always thinking behind, as in the government, we are just pulling them by their trouser every time to follow. I'm telling you, okay, you go through every street.
I just had an image of us pulling someone by the trouser.
I'm telling you, that's what they do. Okay, go through even when you go to the worst road in this Lagos, you will find a very flashy car on that road, parked somewhere. People are living in those places, rich, they are wealthy. We can't do it ourselves. If not, we will task ourselves to do it. This is a country where you task yourself to do everything. You task yourself to do the road, to do the lights, to do the water, to do ball. You do everything yourself. Then 10 years later or 20 years down the line, they come and demolish it and tell you are building on the wrong place. What's that? Even if you are building in the wrong place, I'm giving an example. You relocate the person because the person has indirectly contributed to the community. You don't come and vest your power on them, and that's what they are doing now. Okay, let's assume people can't use the because of the lockdown, they might be scared of their lives. Workers don't want to come. I assume, or probably the materials they couldn't have gotten it during the lockdown, importation and all that. But for heaven's sake, you have times when they could have done a road overnight. They won't do it. You have times when there are public holidays. You do it so that people can, when they resume, they won't do all these things. They won't think ahead for us. We are the only ones dragging them. Government do this, government do this, government do this. What do you say? For how long do we continue this?
Until they start doing it themselves. We will not get tired until they start to do it by themselves.
See, every country, the government move ahead of you. They move ahead of you. When you get to a virgin land, you see the government has done the road, then you just buy land and put yourself in place. But here we do everything ourselves. And then when you want to do the road, you can't tell the contractor, grade all the alternative routes for them. You can't do that. God's sake. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you,
I don't know when I'll reach you again. Let's reach for the next. I don't know.
Thank you for calling, Immaculate. I loved talking to you.
Hello.
Kunle, hello. Hello, Kunle.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yes, go ahead. Good afternoon.
Okay. The third story concerning repairs done during this period. There are unconfirmed reports that before the lockdown, the government, especially Lagos State government, was actually broke. And so this is just an excuse because we don't have forward-thinking people. They knew that these things were coming and, the rains were going to come and the roads were already in bad shape and they know the excuses when the rains have started. So it's just an excuse. It's a lazy excuse at that. Then concerning the lady who is maltreating the girl, unfortunately, many people have people like this that they have in homes. Probably people that have called you have child slaves. If we check within our communities, you would see lots of people like this. If you go to churches, you will see people bringing people who are even, lesser in age than their own kids, using them as helps. It does not make any sense. They go to church, they blame the government, but it's man in humanity to man. We are very wicked people. And so if you check very well, you see many people who have called you who abuse the people who they've told that they want to come and help, and they brought them from their village or their cousins' children or family members' children, and they've turned them to literal slaves. Things that they can't even allow their kids who are much more older do. They do it. But if it's to abuse government, you'll be the first one. If it's to see where other people are doing wrong, they'll be the first ones. So let's look inwards. Because if we, as people, can check ourselves, if I have a cousin who is doing it and I can check him, it will reduce. If I have a brother who is doing it and I can check him, but we can call the radio and complain. That person is someone's sister. That person is someone's brother. The husband is also complicit because he can't sit down at home and say, such is going on in his house without knowing. We have friends, we have colleagues who do all sorts of things like this. Please, let's check ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Kunle, for calling me. Quite a pleasure talking to you there. All right, let's take one final call and then go to Facebook. 99.3.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir?
Christian from Shagamu.
Welcome, Christian.
Please, I would like to start by saying Nigeria has the most strongest economy. And why would I want to use the word the most strongest? Because we, the citizens, do the things ourselves. At the end of the day, we still pay the government. And I can't see the reason why the government cannot be proactive. Because this is a case of not being proactive. Because how can the government have enough time to think, enough time to work? At the same time, they use those time doing nothing. Only use it to think for themselves. Talking about the Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos, it's not a 1 month work. And this plan has been, just as you said, since August, has been dictated. I don't see reason why they should be waiting as far as that and not do anything. I would like to say that August was not actually when they dictated that, but not just being proactive to do what they're supposed to do at when they're supposed to do it. Plan their thing and wait for the right opportunity to kick off their work. They don't do it. Just as one of the callers just said, we help them, we think for them, we shout for them, we throw their trousers all day, all night. But still, we still get nothing. But somebody will say, this is our country. We will not run away. But at the same time, let our government try to help us and stop frustrating us, because this is frustration. They are trying to frustrate us. Because if they have to start this now, they are only inconveniencing the poor people, the less privileged, who have to run day in and day out in order to get their delivery. It doesn't affect them. Everything affects us. Why can't they just think very well in order to help the poor masses, to avert some little hazard? Because this is just like creating more hazard for the poor people. I just have to beg the state government in Lagos. Lagos is highly populated. They should always be proactive in order to think earlier, in order not to affect. Just as somebody said, we have holidays. And now, looking at the whole time God has given us the lockdown, nothing was done. The material should have been on ground even before the beginning of this year. Should have been on ground since August. I don't think it shouldn't take them anything. It should, even less than a month, they can get the requirement. They have the money. The money is there. Why are we cheating ourselves?
Kevin, thanks for calling me. On Facebook, Prince Dozier says, a society that cannot fend for the poor cannot stop having this kind of treatment against house slaves, popularly called house helps. Emmanuel Chikeze says, it's a sad story coming from that woman in Enugu, but the fact is that Enugu is a center of all kinds of human-coded slaughtering. God help us. I don't know what you mean by that. We've got Adobe Ekunno who says, it is nothing but sheer wickedness. If this child was her child, would she do this to her? I know somebody in my area that beats her house help till she has bruises all over her body, even till date. Now, here's what you do when that kind of thing happens. You report it. Especially if you're here in Lagos. If you're here in Lagos, you can actually make a report to the Lagos State Domestic Violence Team, and they will come over and they'll do something about that situation. They'll actually make an arrest. So when things like that happen, make a call. Don't just see it and let them get away with it. The Lagos State Domestic Violence number is 0813 796 0018. 0813 796 0018. If you have a neighbor who's doing this to their child slave, if a child is in your house as a house help, that child is a slave. especially if that child is doing things that your children are not doing in that house, and if that child is doing work that even adults will not do in your house. If a child is doing that work, she's a slave. He's a slave. If a child is working for you and you're sending money to somebody else as payment for the work that child is doing for you, you are part of a human trafficking gang, a child trafficking gang. We know they like call things the names where it be for this country, and I make we day as we day. So please, if you have somebody in your area who is maltreating children, who's beating them up, who's putting nails in their head, burning them, putting pepper in their private parts, 090-77-333-426. Call that number and report. We need to normalize reporting people to the authorities. You're not a wicked person that reported them. They made the choice. The consequence is the law catching up with them. 090-77-333-426. Or you can simply look up Lagos State Domestic Violence number on Google. And then, make that call. Back to Facebook. Rafael Nduka says, Sandra, I love your program. I hate to miss it. The woman who meted out such an evil act has an intention to kill the poor girl. That's the only explanation for driving not just one nail, but two. She should face the full wrath of the law. Idowu Olasunkami says that this is wickedness of the highest order. We've got Chigozie Emmanuel Uche, who says that I hope this story doesn't go down the drain. And allow them settle out of court and call it family matters. Some women are not fit to be mothers. All right, we're going to make out time next week and actually have a conversation about this and get to the bottom of why these kinds of things happen. Why? Why do we allow it to continue to happen? We had a conversation about this actually last year or earlier this year. I don't know. I have the dates mixed up in my head now because so much has happened, right? And at that time, I was also asking, how young, how do we continue to do these things? How do we continue to allow it? And some of you said, the people are poor. You need to help them, blah, blah, blah. Let's bring you the news at 4 and then hand you over to the guy on Checkpoint. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili.